Nigel, let's talk about music. What do you like? What do you listen to?
I don't listen to that much music now. I used to, and I was brought up on the sort of end of Elvis and the beginning of the Beatles and the Stones.
That's a pretty good entry point.
It was a fantastic... 60s was fantastic for music. It was so good they still play it.
Well, there's a big, iconic band that had passed you by. They hail from Manchester. They began their career in 1982, and they were claimed by an entire generation of insecure and alienated youth. They are the Smiths. So I asked you to listen to Hatful of Hollow, which is a collection of some of their early work. Had you heard of the Smiths?
No. Not really, no.
Had you heard of Manchester?
I love Manchester.
Yeah.
I do love Manchester, actually. I've spent a lot of time in Manchester.
What about Morrissey? Did you know about Morrissey?
I know about Morrissey, but until you gave me this CD, I didn't know Morrissey was in the band. That's where he started, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who's that on the front there?
I'm not sure, actually. The Smiths were so called because it was the most mundane and ordinary name they could think of. It was a reaction against bands like the Electric Light Orchestra and this sort of grandiose stuff that had come before. And also they didn't identify themselves on their album covers, I think for the same reason. Did it appeal? I mean, did you...
It's everything I really don't like about music that came out of the 80s.
Yeah.
It's just a
Which is what?
It's a general sound of depression.
Let's have a blast of this charming man.
I would go out tonight, but I haven't got a stitch to wear. This man said it's gruesome that someone so handsome should care.
Magnificent. Huh? What's not to like?
I just don't get it. I just don't get any of that. I'm a bit frightened to say that because Morrissey scares me, actually. I don't want to get on the wrong side of Morrissey. You never know, I might bump into him.
What, are you worried he might come and whine you to death?
Yeah, or just whine me, or just thump me, I don't know.
People are a bit intimidated by him, I think.
Because he comes over like he's a professor, and he's, in fact, the father of all pop music, really.
Well, they were an incredibly influential band, and
influencing what?
Well, they've influenced lots of bands that have come along since then, and certainly lyrical style and to an extent.
Teach me about this, because I'm intrigued because I got the lyrics.
Yeah.
I need to go through them because what is this? What are the lyrics?
Well, it's a form of poetry. I mean, I suppose all pop lyrics are poetry set to music.
This charming man, okay.
Yes.
If you could read the first three lines, then we'll just...
A punctured bicycle on a hillside desolate.
Start again, because there's no
Oh, all right, fair enough. Picky. Punctured bicycle on a hillside desolate. Will nature make a man of me yet?
OK. Now, let's work this out. What's the punctured bicycle on a hillside? Which, fine, so there's a bicycle that's punctured on a hillside.
Yeah, and it's a rather desolate
desolate.
scene.
Yeah. And then he asks a question.
He poses a question.
Will nature make a man of me yet?
Yeah. I think, as Morrissey...
I'm not being awkward or, I'm not behaving...
No, it's fine. I think the way I see it is Morrissey's walking along and he sees himself in this as the kind of man who notices a punctured bicycle and says, oh, look, a punctured bicycle on a hill so desolate. And then he realises he's the sort of man who notices a punctured bicycle and that the scene looks rather desolate and wonders to himself, will nature make a man of me yet?
So, OK.
I'm channeling Morrissey at this stage.
So he's still wondering, will nature make a man of me yet? And he goes on. When in this charming car, this charming man...
Yes.
End of that paragraph.
Yeah.
OK. He's actually driving, noticing this picture of punctured bicycle. Why pampers life complexities when the leather runs smooth on the passenger seat? It's not Bob Dylan, is it?
Well, not yet.
I would go out tonight, but I haven't got a stitch to wear. This man said it's gruesome that someone so handsome should care. No, I'm not there. I'm not there.
No?
It's like he's cut out lots of words from the newspaper and stuck them on the fridge and then put them all together.
Well, that's how Bowie wrote his songs. I'm sure Morrissey will have sat in a darkened room considering self-harm and instead thought, no, I'll write a song. And wrote this. But in your angsty teenage years, I mean, there must have been some. There must have been some moments where you thought, I'm alone in the world. Nothing speaks to me. Nothing anybody says reaches out and touches and explains me and the confusion that I feel.
No.
You never had those moments?
Well, not like that. We just got on with it.
You see, this was very important to me.
Was
because,
it?
Yeah, it genuinely was. Because at that time, as a teenager, I felt very alone and I felt very confused by everything around me. I couldn't understand the world. And listening to people like Morrissey made me feel, oh, there's a kindred spirit. There's someone out there who's successful, who is also baffled by the complexities of life and wonders, you know, will they ever be successful, be a man, be charming, or whatever it is he's writing about.
But the fact that it meant so much to you and other people means that there's a lot of deep philosophy in here somewhere.
It might just be Morrissey's voice, to be perfectly honest. Because when you read this, you know, if we pick How Soon Is Now, OK, that's a very famous song.
OK.
I am the son and the heir of a shyness that is criminally vulgar. I am the son and heir of nothing in particular. Well, that doesn't sound like very much when I
but
say
when you put
it.
his voice on it.
But let's have a listen to Morrissey singing that.
I am the sun and the air of a shyness that is criminally vulgar. I am the son and heir of nothing in particular. You should, you know, how can you say I go about things the wrong way? I am human and I need to be loved, just like everybody else does.
When he sings those lyrics, you know, I'm human and I need to be loved just like everybody else does, I mean, I suppose people feel like that, but you don't hear people say that all of the time.
No. The music you grew up with is very influential, isn't it? And
yeah.
I grew up with... You know,
happy sounds.
Happy sounds, yeah, I did. You know, the most angst was Norwegian Wood, probably.
Yeah.
You know. The problem is I don't understand his angst. I don't know why he's so depressed, what he's got to be depressed about.
You must have listened to Heaven Knows I'm Miserable Now.
Yes, of course. But that's a great song, isn't it? That's the one I had sort of...
Oh, you like that one?
I did rather, yeah.
Because he's more... Why? Because he's more honest about his...
Maybe, and I just preferred the lyric... I preferred the music to it.
OK, well, let's have a listen to that. Yeah. By the way, before we put this on, what might help, and certainly helped Morrissey, is if you take some flowers...
Yeah.
...and just wave them round your head while we listen to this. Here we go.
I was looking for a job and then I found a job, and heaven knows I'm miserable now.
You see, when you gesticulate with the flowers, it starts to speak to you a bit more.
Daffodils and stuff like that. It's very nice.
Well, that's what Morrissey did. He spent a lot of the 80s just twirling. It was usually gladioli, but he did use daffodils, and they're in season, so we thought we might.
He's got a CD out now, hasn't he, Morrissey?
He's got a new one out, yeah, which I really like. But
is it like this music?
Yeah, very, very similar, yeah.
Right.
It lacks Johnny Marr on the guitar. He won't reform the band. He said, in fact, he would rather eat his own testicles than reform the Smiths, which, as a lifelong vegetarian, is...
He's vegetarian,
like
is he?
something. Oh, big time, yeah. They did an album called Meat is Murder.
It is vegetarian music, I could tell that. I could, you know.
Could you?
Yeah.
It lacked... Is that what Morrissey needs? Just a
he
nice...
He needs a burger. He needs it.
He needs a Big Mac.
He needs a Big Mac.
And then he'll just...
And then suddenly it would leap off the page.
Morrissey just absolutely ecstatic.
Yeah, and he'd smile.
Yeah. In the meantime, your marks out of 10 for the Smiths.
I'm going to give it 7. It's really interesting and good music.
Excellent. 7 out of 10 for the Smiths. Nigel, you seem to have enjoyed most of the things that we've asked you to do, which is great. I mean, you've really thrown yourself at it.
Yeah, it's been a real education.
Yeah?
And for that, I'm eternally grateful.
Thank you very much for being my guest on I've Never Seen Star Wars. Ladies and gentlemen, Nigel Havers!
Thank you very much.